seasoning the stones, please, ladies? What does seasoning the stones, please? Do you remember what we said about that? This was last week. Yeah, oiling the stones, coating your stones in oil, and it also gets rid of the grey colour. Coating in oil, perfect. So yeah, that's just a review. Amazing. So when you get your stones, they come looking sort of, and only to be done once, that's correct. When you get your stones, they come in a plastic packaging and look sort of quite light grey and possibly a little powdery. You want to lay them out on a towel or sarong or whatever, and you get some oil. It can be any oil, coconut oil, almond oil, apricot kernel oil, whatever you like, and you just put some in your hands and you turn them and then just place them down. And it's nice to make, I like to make a nice colour. I like to make a nice, not colour, sorry, a nice shape and a nice sort of mandala, it's called. So we make a mandala shape. Sometimes they come out in like a serpenty look. Sometimes it can be a big spiral. Sometimes it can be a bit of a wheel. But these mandalas are sacred geometrical shapes that charge the stones and cleanse the stones as well. So yeah, so seasoning them is what we were talking about, and oiling them one time only, coating in oil. You've got that. Amazing. Next, please, is cleaning the stones. So let me, I've just got a little twinge in my back. Cleaning the stones. What is meant by cleaning the stones? Just take my vitamins. Yes, Ellie. Yes, Sydney. Yeah. Hot soapy water and rinsed. Use soapy water. Warm soapy water is correct. Yeah. And it's good to give them a good scrub, but to try and rinse them. I mean, I'll show you. I did post. Did you see that I post a lot of videos on eBrock about how to charge your stones, how to cleanse your stones? Did you see any of those? Can you just say whether you saw any of those? There's one of, yeah, there's one of, oh, good. Yeah, brilliant. Oh, cool. Cool. So you've seen those. That's brilliant. Yeah, excellent. I'm so glad that you've seen those, because they're so helpful to just see how to handle them and see what to do with them. You can see that the stones are really robust. I remember somebody coming for training one time. They were handling their basalts like they were so fragile they were going to crack. I would handle marble very, very carefully because marble can crack and can break. But the basalt is really hardy and really good. So yeah, you can really tumble them around, wash them, and then sometimes if it's very soapy, you do just sort of immerse them in some plain water and then set them aside. So great. And then charging them out in the full moon. It's actually a full moon tonight. I haven't used my basalt. Amy says her internet is really bad and she keeps going. Oh no. Oh, okay. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you so much. Hopefully she can get back on. But what was I saying about full moon tonight? Now, I don't feel I need to get my basalt out because I'm not using it at the moment. I will put them out as soon as we get back into work. At the next full moon, I will make sure that the basalt, but they're going to sit tidy and tight at the moment. I will get my crystals out, so all my stones and crystals will go out in the full moon tonight. My little collection, I don't know if you can see them, you can't see them behind me, but I've got loads of crystals there. So tonight I do put my crystals that are in the room with me and work with me all the time. They all go out every full moon. So if you've got crystals and you want to recharge their properties, things like rose quartz and clear quartz, amethyst, citrine, whatever you've got, get them out tonight and recharge them. Good. Next, what are we talking about? Cleaning them, hot soapy water, rinse them off. You've got it. Sterilising. So sterilising is an interesting one because now, yeah, let's talk about sterilising them. Uh-oh. Got someone, just bear with me one moment. Just, if you can write down sterilising, please. If you can just. Some salesperson, so that was good. If you can write down about sterilising, please. Sterilising. What did you find out about sterilising? Now, sterilising, I think we talked about it in that, yeah, I think that this we have to go with the ITEC world. When they ask this question, we have to go with ITEC world. And ITEC world says, the beloved ITEC, surgical spirit to wipe them, and surgical spirit, and surgical spirit, and surgical spirit. Antiseptic solution. I think they love the surgical spirit, and they like, you know, as many microorganisms to be completely destroyed as possible, which is absolutely right. The thing about sterilising now, for me personally, when I'm going to move my opinion and my positioning on sterilising, I think we talked about it last time, unless I didn't mention it to you. But in the past, if you were doing multiple treatments of hot stone therapy, you would put sterilising tablets in the tank, and that you could sterilise with sterilising solution or sterilising tablets in between clients, so that you wouldn't have to wash up your tank completely. And then there's also a way of sterilising, and that is by heating up your tank very high. So we'll talk about the temperature, but heating the tank very high as well also kills all microorganisms and living matter. So you can have a very, we'll talk about temperature shortly. I feel now with Corona, with you know, touching hands-on and all that, that we will need to, in between clients, we need to wash the stones, we need to clean the stones. The wiping and surgical spirit, you know, you're washing with soapy water, hot soapy water, like we're instructed to with our hands, that with the stones, as long as you're really using, when you wash them, you wear rubber gloves. And actually the rubber gloves that I choose to always wash my stones have those little ridges in them, so that when I'm rubbing, I'm really rubbing to get the oil off. So it may be that we add a little bit of surgical spirit to the tank, as well as hot soapy water, that we also get some surgical spirit solution, you know, that surgical spirit that you're used to using to clean your tools for manicures and stuff. So I think that that's a possibility for us as well, to go down that route, just so we know that they really are sterilised and cleaned. And then we would need to turn around the towels and start again. So it will be a little more time consuming than we've ever done before, and a little more laundry that we've ever done before. But I think we have to be really observant so that there's no trace of any sort of particles of the virus going forward. Should that be a you know, a situation where somebody has the virus but they don't know that they've got it because they're carrying it, etc., etc. You know what I'm talking about because you've done the ITEC qualification with me. So that's a new angle on hot stone therapy for me, but I feel that it's really important to observe that. So I think that absolutely sterilising solution, sterilising surgical spirit, and I would be tempted to put some in the tank when we're washing them up as well. And even what we could do is sort of wash them. I'm just thinking off the top of my head now, is to wash them in hot soapy water, and the cool water, or a nice big bowl of water that we're rinsing in, has the surgical spirit in it. And then so you're dunking, and then they can dry off. Okay, that's just me thinking aloud along the new COVID clean hygiene rules. Okay, next. Cleansing. Now, cleansing is slightly different to cleaning. So let's think cleansing. So well done all for that. Let's put cleansing. And do you remember cleansing? I'm just going to put down the word purifying or purification. Purification. Excuse my spelling. Purification, purifying, cleansing. Let's go. Keep going. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. This is right. Now I want to know. Exposing to the elements is not yet. The next one is that one. Resetting their aura. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Recharging using. Oh, I like that, Ellie. Oh my goodness, how marvelous. Something else. There's something very specific that ITEC ask in every single hot stone therapy paper. And until I see it, we're not going to stop. But you're right, this is removing negative energies. This is what we're talking about here. So it's not the charging bit just yet. We're removing negative energies. We're purifying. We're sort of resetting their aura. I love that. That's really gorgeous. Smudge with sage. You got that. You got it. Well done. Amazing. You got it. Absolutely. Please know that. Yeah, when you say wipe the stones, Ellie, it's not wipe the stones. Get this right. For smudging with sage, if you don't know what, yes, recharging with positive energy and purifying and cleansing to recharge their aura, not recharge their aura, but reset their aura and purify their aura. I love that. Yes, smudging. Let me tell you about smudging. Or does anybody want to say what smudging is? Because it's not wiping. It's something very particular. Smudging. I'm going to demo a little bit of smudging for you right now. So there's different. Let me get you a few bits and pieces. Okay, so there's a couple of things. I've never been able to do this because I've never brought white sage into college because of, I think, burning the sage. Yeah, exactly that. Burning the sage and letting the smoke coat the stones. That is what smudging is. So there's two different ways. This is a smudge. Hi, Amy. I've recorded this, darling. So whatever you've missed, you can have a little revisit. So yeah, this is all being recorded. So this is, I mean, it's not as beautiful as it is when you buy it, but this is a smudge stick and it's made out of sage, white sage. It's a Native American Indian tradition that's now come across the globe. It smells really sort of herby, fresh and clean herby. I'm not going to set fire to my stick because it takes a while to get it going. But so you burn it and then you blow it out and it wafts smoke. And you brush, well, not what brush, but you comb and let the smoke coat, using Becky's term, fantastic. You brush, coat, comb around the stones. So you will have washed them. And I do this with people as well. So often, sometimes when I've done a massage, if I feel somebody's exhausted or depleted, or they've had quite a lot of congestion, I've really worked the congestion in their back, and I feel they just need a bit of energetic purification, I'll light some of my sage. You can see it's still burning. I'll light some of my sage and waft it around and go over. So it cleans and purifies the aura. So the vibration, the electromagnetic field, the energy field of the stones, of the room. Often, you know, if I've had a busy day teaching here, I'll go round the house or go round the room with my sage and just purify and cleanse the space. Sometimes if I feel just, you know, just like I've got people coming and I've got, you know, a lot of training, I'll just sort of sage the room and just purify it and get ready for people. And so you can see it's still smoking. So it smokes for a while. And that's why these big things, these big bunches, once you get these smoking, you blow it, these go round and they give off quite a lot of smoke. So that is the very lovely white sage, but they love that question of white sage and it always comes up. So there it is. I'm just going to put these. I love this smell. It's got a really clean, herbaceous smell. So I'm just going to pop that there. In fact, I'm going to leave it right here. There's something else while we're at it. Let me just share with you. There's something called Palo Santo that has a sort of similar property. It's a piece of wood, like a piece of, this is it's been a light, but it's a similar thing, and this one's got the most delicious, warming, woody, clean smell. I mean, it's really lovely. And often I'll use this. It's called Palo Santo. And again, this sort of, you burn it, you blow it, and you can use it to smudge. It's the smudging is the cleansing using a burning. Oh, it's just so lovely. It's got a sweet, aromatic, woody note. Absolutely super. I mean, it really is beautiful. So that's Palo Santo, highly recommended. Palo Santo for me sort of just zhuzhes up the energy. It sort of just like spruces it up. It's like sort of, you know, just freshening up. Whereas the white sage, I find, really cuts through and purifies or sets a new vibration. Okay, so that's smudging and it's white sage. Okay, next is charging. So now let's talk about charging. Give you a moment to do charging. So now we're going to expose to the elements. That's right, Sid. But what, can you tell me a little bit more about that? Can you tell me a little bit more specifically about exposing to the elements, please? So yeah, keep going, everybody, please, if everybody can contribute so that I can see that everybody's here. Yeah, charging. Yeah, to give you a couple more minutes if everybody could write and contribute so that I can see that you're all there, please. Let's have a little read at what everybody's saying. Haven't heard anything today from Amy A. Where are you? Tori, where are you? Chloe, please make yourself seen. Okay, let's have a look. Liv. Okay, let me have a little read through. Let me go past and I'll pass back. So leave the stones in the full moon to recharge their energies. Yeah. Store other crystals with labradorite. That's brilliant. Definitely, Ellie. Hot stones to be charged by the sun, while crystals and cold, yeah, the moon. Yeah, charge with the full moon. I leave them all out in the full moon and then the sunlight. Charge with the full moon. They charge most under the full moon and sun. Yeah, just be put out in the ground to be charged, soaked in mineral water. Yeah, I mean, it's really nice sometimes, you know, to be put in. You can wash them in mineral water. I like to also wash them if ever I'm working on a retreat and there's a natural stream. I often take my basalt and put them in like a pan and just put some natural stream water with them. They love that, and charge under the full moon. Brilliant. So yeah, and it doesn't have to be every full moon. So it's just, I think I explained last time, is you'll be massaging, you'll be using your stones, and you'll be like, do you know what? These are just not hot enough. They're not retaining their heat. They're not belting out the heat. They're not really, you know, bringing it. So I would say next full moon, get them out. And again, I would sort of, if you've got and you saw in my video, I put them out on my garden table, but you can put them out on the ground. You can put them on a sarong or a towel outside, or you can I put them just on my table, and I make a nice shape with them and leave them out for a whole day and a whole night and day. And the next time I use them, you can notice how hot they are. They are noticeably hotter, excuse me, and retain their heat. Okay, so that's cool. Good. Please make sure that you learn that and that you know all of those. If was there anything else, let me have a quickie look just to make sure there's nothing in that 1.5 that I haven't. Okay, let's have a quick look. Hygiene. It says also here, alternatively, the use of an oxidizer. I think that's come up as a question before, about preventing cross-infection and how to sterilize. So to prevent cross-infection, all used stones should be cleaned in between clients. If any stones have been placed back into the heating unit during the treatment, the water should be changed in the water, yeah, and disinfectant, yeah. Alternatively, the use of an oxidizer. Can you just make a note of that under the sterilizing bit? Or cleansing. I don't know how they word it in the exam, but I've seen that oxidizer question come up before. Using an oxidizer and sterilizing tablet or solution in the heating unit will help sanitize the water until the unit can be thoroughly cleaned and disinfected at the end of the day. But like I said, rather than putting an oxidizer or sterilizing tablets, I think nowadays we're going to have to clean in between every client. I mean, you'll have to see how when you go to work, what their protocol is, but I feel that that's the way I'm going to teach it going forward. Wipe the stones with surgical spirit or alcohol, or any antibacterial based solution to remove any medium. Wash in hot soapy water with an antiseptic agent. And rinse until the soap is gone. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's saying here that in a busy salon you should have 2 tanks per room, and it's just not viable. So cleansing the stone, you've got that. We've got all of that. Exposed to the elements: wind, rain, sun, full moon, thunderstorms. Hot stones charge better by the sun, and crystals and cold stones by the moon. And yeah, I mean, that's a sort of, that's an opinion. They all like to be out in the full moon, and they all like to be in the sunshine too. Labradorite also, and moonstone also work well. And an amethyst bed is ideal to recharge crystals. I love that. Often clear quartz will amplify and strengthen stones as well. So you can work with clear quartz and amethyst to recharge and amplify. Immersing stones in salt water is quite sweet. That's nice. Don't really do that. Sprinkle salt. Never use salt with marble stones or crystals, as it will soften and crack them. You need to write that sentence down, please. I'm going to repeat it again. Never use salt with marble or crystals, as it will soften and crack them. They'd love that question. You can use Reiki if you want on the stones. You can smudge them with sage. Use a mandala or medicine wheel. This also charges them. And holding crystals under natural spring water, or if in doubt, you can use a bottle of mineral water. So yeah, you've got all of that. Please write all of those little additions and make sure you know what you're talking about. Right, I want to talk about the heat of the tank, please. And yeah, let me just have a quick look here. Yeah, let's talk about that, the heat now. And then there's a little bit of homework for you, which I'll set. What time is it? Okay, we've got a little bit of time. Yeah, it's brilliant. There's a couple of things that I want you to do, actually. One of which we've been doing for ages is looking at chakra. But now I want you to sort of really start to look at the crystals associated to chakras and look at the stones. We now know the colors. We know that it's red, orange, yellow, pink and green, turquoise, indigo, violet for the root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown. We know that. We also know about what their properties and purpose are. And we also know what some of the possible imbalances are, because we know the endocrine system. And this is something on page 147 that you really need to be looking at regularly. But now I'd like you to focus in and start to have a look at some of these stones and have a look at the stones. Google some of the stones, please, image, so that you see what amethyst and clear quartz is, what sodalite, what lapis lazuli looks like, turquoise, aquamarine, rose quartz, green jade, tiger's eye, citrine, orange jasper and carnelian, garnet and bloodstone. I want you to look up all of those and have a look at them. And they're really beautiful. So I want you to look at those stones. That's homework number 1. And then homework number 2 will be revealed to you on eBrock, and that is really just about the benefits, a little bit of the benefits of each movement technique. You know this doubles up anyway, but it's got it in the book here, you know, a little bit about effleurage, a little bit about petrissage, friction, cross fiber, but these are specific to hot stone. Okay, let's find the bit about the heat. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, so page 154, please, ladies. Everybody, 154 in your pink book, please. I'll just give you a moment to land there. Page 154. Okay, perfect. So carrying out the treatment. So the stone heater, and again, when I think, have I done a setup? I can't remember if I've done a setup video about the tank, like introducing you to the tank. I might have done. I'll have a look at the videos and see if there is one, just about getting your tank sorted. I need to watch some of those videos back myself. It's really important that you put a cloth in the bottom of the tank. So let me quickly get this out for you. So the tank's full of stones here, so it's a bit tricky, but the tank comes in 2 units. You have this bit that contains the stones in it, and this is the bit that that has the stones in it, and then this bit, this part is the heating unit. So this is the heating part, and this gets very, very hot, and it's really important to make sure that your safety, and I'll teach you this when we get back into college and I teach you how to set up, but it's really important that it doesn't have any access to water, the hot water, and that you don't put this next to curtains so that you haven't got curtains sort of dangling down the back. It also has to be put on a towel so that it's really stable, and so that it doesn't move around and that it's really stable. But I'll show you how to set up your tank when we get together. And then inside this unit here, this bit, you must put a flannel at the bottom, and then you put your stones in, and then you put the water in. And it has to be in that order, really, because otherwise you'll overflow the tank with water. So you put the flannel in, set the stones up, cover it all in water, and then you turn the tank on. Okay, so I don't know if you want to make a little note of that just so that you've got it written down in that order. So make sure that the tank is really stable on a towel, on a stable, and it has to be on a stable table or a stable surface, because it's blooming heavy. With all the stones and with all the water, you couldn't put it on just like a little trolley. It's too unstable. You need it really solid. So yeah, a towel down, plug it in, but don't turn it on just yet. It's a little bit like a kettle in that you wouldn't put a kettle on unless you put the water in. So you put everything in, flannel, arrange the stones, pour the water in just so it covers the stones without sploshing it everywhere. Turn the electricity on, flick the switch, and then you can leave it for about 20 minutes, half an hour. So if you've got a client at 10 o'clock, you can't put your stones on at 10 to. You have to go in early or set up early in your room or cabin, or go to, wherever you're working. But if your first client is stone therapy, you have to allow 30 minutes to set up. So 30 minutes, and then where you want to go is around 60 degrees. That gets the stones super hot. And then you want to drop down to 54 degrees. Quite specific in that. So you take it up to 60 degrees. This is centigrade. It's got there 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you must drop it down, because 60 degrees will burn. So you definitely want to take it to 54. If somebody's pregnant or doesn't like heat, and you're working with the stones and you just want them to be a little bit lovely and warm but not piping, you can take them down to about 48 degrees, and that's centigrade, Celsius, centigrade. The other thing is that here's the rule of stones, and again, I will demonstrate this to you, is that the rule of stones, hot stone therapy, is if you can't handle it and you can't hold your stones, they're too hot and they're going to burn. And you know when you can't, it's like they're too hot to handle. If they're really lovely and warm and hot and you can hold them and handle them, they won't burn. They're fine and they're lovely. So that's really important, and that's a massive safety measure. I will teach you that if it is that they are too hot to handle, there's a way in which you can reduce the heat by dunking them into cold water for a second and then bringing them out. The other thing I'm going to show you when you do set up is you have to have a towel or an area next to or in front of the tank of stones, so that when you are bringing the stones out to use them on the body, that they've got somewhere to go. Otherwise, you'll be bringing out hot, dripping hot basalt with nowhere to put it. So you have to have either somewhere in front of them or next to them. At college, we used 2 trolleys side by side. One of them has a towel with a tank of stones on it, and the other one just has a towel on it. And we take the spoon and we put the stones on the towel next to it, blot them, and then we oil up and then bring the stones on. So you will see that in action. If you have looked, did I put down the full stone therapy treatment on eBrock? Did I put that on? I can't remember. But what I will do is I'll put on, I've got a full stone therapy, so you can see how I work the stones. You can sort of watch it. It's a little, it's a great, it's a bit long-winded because it's an hour, just over an hour's treatment. But it's really cool if you're studying stone therapy to watch it. If you have the chance or time to watch it, then it's really cool to see how they work and what I'm talking about. Okay, so how hot do the stones have to be? Pop that down. How hot do you heat the tank before use? And then how hot is the working temperature? Pop that down in the chat box for me, please. Yeah, so start with 60, because 60 you need to, it's almost like when you're cooking, brilliant, it's all, yeah, super. It's almost like when you're cooking, sometimes if you cook, you bring something to the boil and then you let it simmer. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes you need to bring it up to the boil and then you turn it down. So you bring it up to 60 and then you bring it down. And those tanks, they're quite sensitive in that and I'll teach you this when we're together, but you can either, you can raise and lower it. If it's like, oh my God, my tank is just boiling hot and completely out of control, you just turn the whole thing down, like really right down. If it's just like a little bit too hot or a little bit too cool, the dial is actually quite sensitive. It's good. It's a really good thing. Okay, so that's on page 154, right at the bottom there. Let me just have a quick look at this. Oh yeah, okay. So the contraindications to stone therapy, you can see there on that column, on the right column of 154, on the second paragraph down, or what preparation is required for your client. The client should be prepared for massage, having completed a full consultation. Whilst drinking a glass of water, it's quite good to get them hydrated before they start. So have them have a glass of water. Maybe they need the loo, and then you can start. The client must be checked for contraindications, which is the same for massage. So you know your contraindications for massage, it's the same. However, there are some additional considerations, and this will change the dimensions of the treatment in that you might have to just lower the temperature. And so if you've got somebody who's really heat intolerant or hypersensitive, so you might have somebody who just goes, oh my God, I can't sit in a sauna, I can't even have a hot bath, can't stand the heat, can't stand the heat, can't stand the heat. Then for hot stone therapy at 54 degrees, it's going to be too hot. So you would either maybe suggest that it's not the treatment for them, and if they go, no, but I really, really want to try it, then just drop the tank down so that the stones are nice and warm. Anybody who's prone to prickly heat. Now, it's an interesting one. I mean, if someone goes, I got super sensitive skin and I always get prickly heat, even when it's not that hot, then again, I would turn the temperature and just turn the tank down just to sort of avoid any, any concerns. And then has a loss of tactile sensation. I mean, the thing about that is, so if somebody loses sometimes with peripheral neuropathy and diabetes, sometimes people lose that sense of touch. And what you want to be careful of is that they can't feel the heat. The thing is, it's a sort of, you would never go on, this is in case you burn them. You don't want to sort of burn anybody because they have no sense of touch and they can't say, wow, that's really hot. The thing is that you as a practitioner, you know when it's too hot and when it's not. So you won't burn anybody unless you completely ignore my teachings of health and safety and safety of the heat on the body. Otherwise, you just wouldn't do it. You wouldn't. You know what I'm talking about. Your sense of altruistic sense of caring for somebody wouldn't put something on it was too hot. And I also always teach, if you're in doubt, if you think, oh, is that too hot? Is it too hot? If you're in doubt, dunk it. For the sake of dunking it and it being slightly too cool, it's better for it to be maybe a little too cool than a little too hot. You can always sort of get a better stone that is going to be a perfect temperature. But I'm going to teach you all of that as well. I just wanted to talk about it here. I mean, if somebody's on steroid-based medication, sometimes that can thin the skin. As in, sometimes with older clients, they might have more thin skin. So again, it's not contraindicated, but you might just want to turn the tank down to about 45, 48. And again, not too cool, because then, a lot of clients with thinner skin still love the heat. But you just, you really got to be careful because you're causing a very strong vasodilation, a very strong sort of reaction to bring blood into the area. Okay, and then that being treated recently with alpha hydroxy or glycolic acids, again, they cause, I don't know if they cause inflammation to the skin or a peel. Are they peels? Are they peels? Are they peels? And again, it might have stripped away, and you want to be careful working with too much heat on a treated skin. It's okay if somebody's had an exfoliation. In fact, it's quite nice with an exfoliation. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, so have a little remember of those. And yeah. I'm going to teach you all of that. Cool box. So yeah, the marble and the cold stones are usually heated in a cool box with ice, typically, and I'll show you that. So you have your hot tank, and then you have some cool stones that are either in a bowl. I just have mine in like a little stainless steel bowl with several cubes of ice and a little bit of water, and I just put them straight in there. It looks quite pretty. And then I have my crystals lined up as well. So my crystals just go on. The crystals, when we do stone placement, so that we're going to put some stones on the top of the body and tuck some stones in the around the body, we're just going to place the crystals on the chakras. So it's a really nice addition to the treatment. It's not always used in stone therapy, and it's not always required or necessary. You don't have to do it, but it's just a really beautiful part of the ritual should you wish to do it. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it there. We'll catch up with a little bit of reactions and aftercare advice next time. We're getting really good. We're getting really close here. What's that? Just one second. Whilst working with posture. Yeah, watch your posture. That's talking about. Yeah. We talked about that. So, okay, let me just set you your other piece, and I'm going to just reveal that and make sure that's revealed on eBrock. And this is called A Brief Account of the Benefits of Each of the Following Techniques. So effleurage, petrissage, friction, cross fiber, tapotement, vibration, piezoelectric. Now I've taken this list from the book. So this is literally, has it got, yeah, and what is a trigger point? Yep, so this is for next time. This starts on page 149. Your homework goes on for a few pages, and I literally want, you know, an overview of each, because they might ask a little bit about tapotement or vibration, or there was one about the nervous system that always comes up. And then yes, once we've covered the theory, I'll spend a week or two, or it'll only take a week or two for me to, and I'll let you have the list of questions that I've gathered from past exams. And because there's only 20 questions, they're very similar. So with the anatomy and physiology, often, you know, we sort of do our best to gather the best, most common questions that arise. But with the hot stone, luckily, we're seeing a bit of a trend of questions that come up, but then there's always new questions arising. So know your chakras, know your stones, know your contraindications and benefits of hot and cold. That question and that sentence about the stone clan people always comes up. Make sure you know that. But we'll go through those another time. So your homework. Do the benefits of the massage moves according to stone therapy, and have a look at all the crystals, stones that are recommended on that chakra chart for each chakra. Okay, now any questions while we're here together and everything's so good? I'm just going to stop the recording. Just one second. Stop the recording right there. And